quick. So, all right. Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm Brigham Joy. I'm the founder of America's Team, and what we'll do today is simply I'll give you guys a little bit of the history of America's Team, and then I'll answer some frequently asked questions, and then we'll just open it up to you guys to fire away with your questions, and we'll go from there. So, yeah, I guess without further ado, how this whole thing got started. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go here. All right. So how this whole thing got started was I played small college baseball here in Kansas and got the opportunity to go to Germany as a college kid and play ball. And guys, it is the coolest thing I have ever done. And it has nothing to do with baseball. I went overseas just thinking I had tunnel vision. I thought I was there just to play baseball. But about the second day we were in Germany, they took us to the Dachau concentration camp. And guys, that rocked my world. That was like the good Lord just came down and shook me and said, "Hey, there's a big world out here. You need to go see it." So that was my life-changing aha moment. So, fast forward, I graduate from college, get a job, and quickly realize working sucks. Like, I don't recommend it to anybody. So at 26 years old, I decide, you know what? If I have to work, I might as well do something that I love. So I started taking baseball teams overseas. And that was about almost 20 years ago, because I guess I'm 44 now. So you're looking at a 44-year-old kid. And so we've been doing this for 18 years, and we've been lucky enough to grow it to baseball, softball, basketball, and volleyball. And guys, my goal is simple. It's simply to give you guys, give other kids the same opportunity I had. So that's my story. But again, today's about your story. How can we help you guys go see the world and change your lives? So that's kind of our history. And now I'll run through some frequently asked questions. And then after this, if you guys just want to throw your questions in chat, then we can just scroll through them and answer all those questions and go from there. So, all right. So the first one everybody wants to know is, why was I invited? And the answer there is, we work with college coaches all across the country that send us players that they see out on the recruiting trail. And what we'll do is we'll take all those players and we put them into a big database, and then very unscientifically, we divide those names up by the destinations, and then we just send out invitations to those different destinations. So that's how all of you guys were invited, is because we work with college coaches. And how we build our teams is, once we get all of the kids signed up for the teams, we then divide them up by positions. For like in volleyball, we don't want a team just full of hitters and no back row. And then on the other side, we don't want all just liberos and no hitters. So we divide up the kids by positions to make a good balanced team. And then we also, what we're looking for with our players are good athletes who can play all over the court or play all over the field, because we want to keep our rosters small to make sure that all the kids get a lot of playing time. So for basketball and volleyball, we don't like to carry any more than 10. And then for softball, we don't like to carry more than 12, because again, it all goes back to the experience. And I know you guys are going to go overseas to play ball, not to watch ball. So we want to keep our rosters small to make sure that you guys get a lot of playing time. So that's how we build the teams. Excuse me, I got to get a drink. Getting winded here. All right. So the next one is the tour schedule, because a common question is, how much do we play versus how much sightseeing? And it's about 50-50. So the first 3 days of the tour, that's the tournament, and that's going to be, softball all day, all night. Like it's going to be just like here at home where you're playing multiple games per day and you're going to, you're living at the gym, living at the ball field, so your first 3 days, that's the tournament. And then the rest of the time, so after the tournament's over, the sports is done. And then the rest of the time is spent exploring and seeing as much of that country as we can. So that's how the tour schedule kind of shakes out is, tournament up front and then tour at the end. So let's see here. Next, what's included in the tour cost? So what's included is your flights and hotels, games and uniforms, all the tours and excursions that we take you guys on, your tour bus, your tour manager, and then breakfast and dinner every day are also included. And even, tips to your local tour guides, that's all included too. So that's everything that is included. What's not included is lunch. So you need lunch money every day and then souvenirs. But other than lunch and souvenirs, everything else is included for you. So that's what is included and also what's not included for you. Let's see here. What's next? Flights. And I saw this come up on a on one of the chat questions. So how the flights work is when you register, you're going to select that you want to depart from another departure city than from what's listed. Because I think, what do we have? I think New York is one going to Europe, then Miami is the Dominican, and then LA is Australia. So let's use Australia and LA for the example of how flights work. So let's say I'm from Kansas City. Let's say we have somebody else from Chicago and then somebody else from Phoenix. So what we're going to do, I'm going to select Kansas City as my departure city. And then the kids from Chicago and Phoenix will select those cities. So what we will do, we'll fly everybody from their home airport and we will all converge on LAX. So you guys will all meet in LAX and then together you'll fly from LA to Australia. So when you register, select that you want to leave from a different city and then go in and pick your local home airport. Because if you don't, like if you just click LA, we're going to fly you from LA and you'd have to figure out how to get yourself from your home airport to LA. So make sure and register and select that correct departure city. That way we'll take care of your flights. And it works the same way if you're going to Europe or to the Dominican. We just converge on a different airport. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's see here. The next one is safety and chaperones. So at a minimum for each team, you'll have 2 chaperones. And yeah, let's go over the minimums first, and then I'll explain why I say at a minimum. So you'll each have a college coach as your first chaperone because each team is led by a college coach. And then we employ a full-time, bilingual, local professional tour manager that is going to be with you guys 24/7. So you're going to have a local with you guys the entire time. And the tour manager, they're going to run your tour. They're going to take care of all the logistics of, making sure the bus is there ready to pick us up, calling ahead to restaurants, making sure that they're ready for us, calling ahead to the tours to make sure that, they're all ready for us. They're going to run your tour because what I tell the college coaches is I want the coaches focused on you guys. Like, I don't want the coaches trying to figure out where to park the bus when we go to the Coliseum, or, how to get a hold of the restaurants and that kind of stuff. I want the coaches focused on you guys. So that's at a minimum, there'll be 2 chaperones for the team. And the reason I say at a minimum is we average 6 parents that travel with each team. So I anticipate a handful of, you guys as parents, tagging along too. Because I mean, what an awesome experience to share with your daughters. Let me see here. I may have jumped ahead of my list here. But yeah, so family members, you guys are more than welcome to travel. Now, the registration deadline, the sense of urgency is getting the kids signed up to lock in their spot on the team. Now, each player has 30 days from when they got their invitation to lock in their spot. So the sense of urgency is getting the kids signed up to lock in their spot. Now, parents and family members, you guys can take your time. As long as you guys get signed up by January 1st, that's perfectly fine. If you want to sign up now, you can. But again, the sense of urgency is getting the kids signed up so we can build those teams. And then we can add you guys later on as family members, because there's no limit to how many family members we can bring. All right. And I'm going to do a payment schedule next, because that kind of comes in with the registration deadline. So when you register, the deposit is due. So you're going to pay the $495 deposit. Then by January 1st, a total of $1,495 is due. So call it $1,500. So you put down $495 when you register, and then sometime between now and January 1st, you have to pay another $1,000. So you have to have $1,495 in by January 1st. Then final payment deadline, if your tour departs in June, so if you travel in June, all of your money is due February 17th. If you travel in July, all of your money is due March 1st. Or if you travel in August, all of your money is due by April 1st. So that's the payment schedules if you do the manual payment plan. Now, if you guys choose to do the automatic payment plan, where you it works just like your mortgage or your car insurance, where it automatically deducts from your checking account each month. You can set that up, and it'll take it out monthly, and it'll actually string out. It gives you longer to pay for it. So you can set it up to where your final payment goes out 45 days prior to departure. So it gives you longer to pay for it if you guys set up the automatic payments. So that's how the payment schedule works. And then, oh, excuse me, this is my last one, and then I'll let you guys fire away. So a lot of kids want to know, how does this help with college? Like, how is this going to help you get to the next level? And 2 ways. Number one, you're going to get to play in front of college coaches all week, so that's the first one. And then secondly, and this is probably even more important, is you have the opportunity to network with those college coaches all week. So what you guys need to understand is that all these college coaches, they know each other. The coaching network is super tight. So let's say you're a basketball player, and say I'm a point guard, I'm a 2025, and say the coach that I'm playing for, doesn't need a 2025 point guard, but that coach is going to know a dozen other coaches that are looking for a 2025 point guard. So by getting to know them and networking with them, you're growing your network to where it might not be a fit for that coach, but that coach can help you find a good fit. So network, because guys, these coaches, they all know each other. So yeah, that's how it's going to help you out with college. And And we do have kids that, sign with the coaches that they play for every year. So I mean, it's not a guarantee, and it's not our primary goal, because my goal is to go show you guys the world and change your life. But a good ancillary goal is we do get kids signed to go play, with the coaches that take our teams. So I mean, it's a win-win there. So all right, I think that's everything on my list. So I'm gonna pop open these chat questions, and we'll see what you guys want to know. Let's see here. Da, 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 da. Go to the top. I'm gonna breathe. I'm getting tired. All right, so I go down. Here we go. All right, so how do parents get added to the trip? Okay, so parents, to add yourself to the tour, you register just like you did for your daughter. Register as a participant, and each person that travels will need to complete a separate registration. So let's say, for example, you got your daughter that wants to play, and then both mom and dad want to travel. So you have three people that are wanting to travel. You would complete three separate registrations, one for the player, one for mom, and one for dad. And each person would have to pay a deposit. So each person would register and pay the deposit to lock yourself in on the travel roster. So that's the first one. So, okay. I want to leave from a city other than New York. I put that on my registration. Perfect. So just like we talked about earlier, if you're from Columbus, Ohio, you put that down as your departure city. We will then get your flight from Columbus to New York to meet up with all the rest of the team. And then you'll fly together from New York to Europe. So perfect question. Thanks for bringing that up. All right. Is there a specific airline utilized for leaving the US? So we use all the major carriers, Delta, American, BA, Lufthansa. You ask because the unaccompanied minor fee, yeah, so we don't charge that, so you're good there. So we don't add in the unaccompanied minor fee, so that is not an issue there. But we use all of the major carriers. How do we tell which coach will be with which team, and will that information be provided beforehand? Yes. So what we're going to do is, once we get all of the players, signed up for the team, or I should say teams, because we take multiple teams to each location. So let's say, for example, I don't know, we're going to go to Costa Rica for volleyball. So let's say we have 4 teams there. So what we'll do is we'll divide the kids amongst the 4 teams, and then we will assign college coaches to each one of those teams. And then once we assign the coaches, we have the coaches connect with the players and start that team building process. And what we try and do is we try and get that those team assignments done no later than December, because we want to allow you guys and the kids and the coaches to get to know each other, to start building that team bond. So we'll assign those coaches, at the latest in December, and then you'll be able to communicate with the coach and with your teammates that way. Okay, let's see. Are the dates for the trip set in stone? Possibility of changing? All right. So there is always a possibility of the dates changing. And I say that just it just may happen, but I am 99.9% sure that the dates won't change. But to the second part of this question, if the dates for, let's say you were invited to Germany and those dates don't work for you, let us know and we can get you invited to another team. That way you can travel. because again, guys, our invitation process is it's pretty unscientific. We put all the kids into one big database, and then we divide that database amongst the 6 locations. Because there was no really rhyme or reason that you were invited to Germany as opposed to the Dominican Republic, and vice versa. So yeah, if the dates don't work for you, let me know and we can send you an invitation to somewhere else. Okay, do the kids get to play against just the country they go to, or is there other international teams? Um, both. So, like in the Dominican Republic, it'll just be our U.S. teams and the Dominicans. Then Australia, for softball and volleyball, we had teams from Australia, the U.S., New Zealand was there. Let's see, for basketball, we only had Australia and our U.S. teams. Like this, I just got back from Spain a couple weeks ago, or actually last week. So in volleyball in Spain, we had our U.S. teams from Spain, Portugal, Israel, and Belgium. Then on the softball side, we only had Spain and our U.S. teams. So yes and no, I guess, is be the best answer I can give you. And we always try and get more countries involved, but we can't ever guarantee that other countries will play. So that's kind of how that works. Let's see here. How much does it cost altogether? Each location has its own unique cost. Let's see, ballpark costs like Australia, or yeah, let's go from the top down. Australia is going to run about 6,500. Then Italy runs about 5,800. Spain is about 54. Then Germany is about 5,100. And then the Dominican and Costa Rica are about 4,000. So each location has different pricing. All right, let's see. Is there an option for parents to secure the trip just to make sure there are no space issues later? Yeah, so you can sign up as a parent. You can sign up today to lock in your spot. I don't anticipate space issues, but if you want to just be extra sure, then yeah, go ahead and sign up, today along with your daughter. But as a good rule of thumb is just make sure you're signed up by January 1st. But yeah, Sandra, if you're worried about that, yeah, you can go ahead and sign up today. Let's see, if you leave from your local airport, is it extra cost? Yes. So, let's say the price is out of New York, but again, you fly from Columbus, Ohio, and I'm going to use round numbers here. So let's say you're going to Italy, so it's 5,800 out of New York. It might be 5,950 out of Columbus. So that flight from Columbus to New York, might cost you $150. And each price is going to be different. So like Columbus might be 5,950, but Kansas City might be 6,000. It might be $200 as opposed to 150. But that's kind of the price range that you're looking at, is to fly from your home airport to the departure city. It is going to cost a little bit, but it'll be less than trying to get your own flight from Columbus to New York and back. Let's see here. When do we get to meet our teams and how many people will be on the teams? December at the latest. We try and get those coaches assigned as soon as we can. And then for each sport, so softball, you're looking at, we don't like to carry more than 12. And then for volleyball and basketball, we don't like to carry more than 10. Okay. Does the Dominican Republic use the US dollar, or will we have to get different currency? In the Dominican, you can use both the US dollar and you can exchange money for the Dominican peso. Okay, looks like we got 10 minutes left. All right. If we want to add some sightseeing stops, do we do that through you or on your own? So if you guys want to add your own sightseeing and like go away from the group, you can either do that on your own, or your tour manager who's in country, they can help you set that up. So you can absolutely do that, but just know that if we have an activity planned over here and you guys choose to go and do your own thing, that's perfectly fine, but there's no refund for the activity that we had planned. But yeah, you can absolutely do that if you want to. All right. Is there a volleyball team going to Italy in 2024? Yes, we're going to have a couple volleyball teams going to Italy in 24. I sent some emails to Tom and I have not heard back. And is there another? You can, Nikki, you can email me. Tom is in Japan. That's why um I'm sitting in for him today because he usually takes care of these. But yeah, I'll shoot my email here in the chat, and yeah, shoot me an email. Does the Let's see here. Let's see. I'm not sure about the dates for Italy off the top of my head. Shoot me an email and I can get that to you. Let's see here. Where's Lost my spot? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, shoot me your emails because Tom had to go to yeah, he's in Japan right now. Is the program sponsored? No, you guys have to pay for it, either by paying for it on your own or doing fundraising. And in order, or the reason that is to make sure that we stay within NCAA compliance. You guys have to pay for the trip, because if not, the NCAA would you know determine that you guys have been paid to play, and they would lose their amateur status or their NCAA eligibility. So let's see, how were the people chosen for this? That goes back to, we work with college coaches that send us players they see out on the recruiting trail. Do you know a percentage of the players that get signed? I don't have the no, I don't know the percentage of players. Most of our kids go on and play small college sports, but as far as getting signed because of this, I don't know, because most of our kids are good enough that they're going to get signed regardless. How do they get their uniforms? We send out their uniforms 30 days prior to departure. So later on in the spring, we'll send out the uniform order sheet. They'll complete their order, and then we will print and ship their uniforms about 30 days prior to taking off. If we were to win one of the scholarships, I think the scholarships are awarded in January, and ACIS will let you guys know who that is, or yeah, if you win. Who will be coaching for the Spain trip for July 2024? We haven't assigned coaches yet, so I'm not sure there. Do you get to keep the uniforms? Yes. And what we do is, guys, we give you 3 sets of uniforms, and they have the USA on the chest. And what I encourage you guys to do is keep one uniform as a souvenir, and then trade the other 2 jerseys for, Spanish or Dominican or Australian or Italian jerseys. Like wherever you're going, trade with a kid from that country. That way you're coming home with a couple, foreign jersey souvenirs. Okay, when do we meet our teams? How many? I think I already answered that. Meet them in December at the latest. There are different age groups. So all of our players are high school age kids, anywhere from freshmen all the way up to, graduating seniors. So let's see, are there girls on the team from the same state? Yes and no. Most likely there'll probably be another kid from your state on the team, but we build the teams by positions. So I can't say that for sure, but most likely. I'm from Canada. That's awesome. We have Canadian kids too. So yeah, you are more than welcome to play. And yeah, we'll just fly you out of Toronto or Montreal or whatever airport you guys are closest to. Uh, Sandra, contact me if you guys want to switch countries. I can get you that information. Where does the Dominican Republic team meet up? Most likely Miami, I think, is what we have. I know in the past we've done Atlanta and Miami, but most likely it'll be Miami. So, can other players sign up for this that weren't sent an invitation? Um, what we would need to do there is if they weren't sent an invitation, we get all of our players by recommendations somehow, either from college coaches or past players and parents. So email me with their information, and yeah, once we get I guess a recommendation for them from a trusted source, then absolutely they could go. Because again, guys, our recruiting program is not perfect. I am sure there are plenty of deserving kids that slip through the cracks. So if you know of other players that are good players that are great kids, we want to hear about them. So yeah, send me their information, and we'll do our due diligence and then send out their invitation. Because again, yeah, our recruiting process is not perfect. All right, so the group fee valid through 9/1 with a deposit. Does that mean the price will change if it's after 9/1? Again, it could change, but no, it won't. We get these prices locked in. So that's where it's important to, again, get the kids signed up now. And then parents, as long as you guys get signed up by January 1, you'll be fine. So don't worry about the price increasing. Okay, how do we find out where the flights leave? Um, Extra fee. So I can't remember what the adult single room charge is. If you email that to me, I can find that out for you. But it would be in your invitation. I just don't have it off the top of my head. But if you email it to me, I can get that information for you. Let's see, does the deposit amount change if parents are going? No. So each person that's traveling has to pay the deposit. So the the amount doesn't change. So it's per person. So if you have 3 people traveling, you'd have to put down 3 deposits. Okay, just let's see. If you want to know the Italy option, just email that and I can get that for you. Any scholarships? Yes, ACIS has scholarships available. Um, Email me and I can get you that. Well, actually, let me see if I can just pull that up real quick. I'll see if I can find the link for you, and I'll just put it in the chat here. There we go. I got the link for you. All right, here is the link to the scholarships. Do we have a website? Yes, I'll just put that in here too. There's our website. Can you send the registration link? The registration link will differ for each team. So if you email me your daughter's name and where she was invited and what sport, yeah, I can send you that specific registration link. Let's see, what organizations are you partnered with? I'm not quite understand that question, but if you're asking, are we part of USA softball or volleyball? That's not